9 o'clock. They were to have met an hour ago. We should have had some certain news by now. Or is that the sound of a carriage?
No, I heard nothing.
I must say, madam, that you take the whole situation very calmly. One would think that you are still in the bell. I must say.
No, I think not so. That Albert will be brought home dead. It is another man who I mistake not has died this morning.
You think it were not? Why, in heaven's name? Should you wish such a thing?
Nonetheless, it is Albert who will walk a victorious from our field. I wish it were not.
I think so. I wish it.
Because his safety is purchased by the death of an honorable man.
I do not understand you. What way is Monte Cristo honorable? Or are you like all women prepared to pity the man who loses even though he is villain?
For none after this affair, the duel is settled. I leave the Paris and go away. Paris, and Albert has promised me to go with me.
So in my disgrace, when I am in most need of support, you leave me. I expected it, but how? I hear a carriage entering the courtyard. It is Albert returned.
Pray the God, poor boy is safe. My son, Monisha Bisham, is he alive? Is all well with him?
He is on his way here. He is not far behind me.
But why he delayed so long? Is he wounded? Is he come to any harm?
Madam, you will soon know all that there is to know. My son, you are alive. Well, thank God.
My son Albert, you have done well. I see by your safe return that you have earned the family honor. Embrace me, my son, and receive your father's thanks.
Before you embrace me, father, I think it's right that you should know what has occurred this morning.
I have no desire to know the details. It is enough that you have killed Monte Cristo and have returned to me alive.
I beg of you to listen, for I have something of importance to say. Now, father, before I describe the event of this morning, I wish to speak of what happened last night. Last night, after I challenged the Count of Monte Cristo to a duel, my mother went to him in his house in Champs-Élysées. There, she begged for the life of her son.
Is this true?
Perfectly true. I did what I could to save Albert.
The Count of Monte Cristo not only desired to spare my life, he also told my mother that why he sought to bring our family into disgrace. He made it clear that it was neither she nor I who was the enemy. All his enmity were directed against you.
Against me? But I hardly know the man until he arrived in Paris. Some months ago, I had never met him.
So you think I were to continue after my mother had pleaded with him? The Count promised to spare my life and to die in my street. All this my mother told me upon her return. The last thing I learned from this morning that the Count of Monte Cristo did yesterday was to make this will.
I should judge it to be the most sensible thing he could do.
Today, as I walked to the meeting place in White Vincent, I made up my mind what I must do. The Count of Monte Cristo was waiting and they waited him for his 2 seconds. Without hesitation, I applauded him and for having insulted him and challenged him to a duel, I humbly begged his pardon. I considered that his attempts of humiliate and dishonor my family were fully justified.
You begged his pardon?
I apologized most humbly and I hope that he would continue to be my friend.
You apologize, you have been first to defend your father. You debased yourself before your father's enemy. It is too much.
Albert, you acted nobly. The Count is still living.
He is still living. We had breakfast together and he was accompanying me to this house.
Albert, there is clearly much here that demands explanation, my time. For example, be permitted to ask why, in such short notice, you had decided to abandon me and side with
That the Count of Monte Cristo himself shall tell you. Show him the Count of Monte Cristo.
Sir, my son has just told me a strange story.
Sir, I am about to tell you a stranger one.
Sir, you had a meeting with my son this morning.
I had.
And my son has good reason for wishing to fight with you and enduring to
Yes, sir, he had many good reasons, but you see that in spite of them, he had not fight with me and even killed me.
Then he made some apology or gave some explanation.
I explained nothing and it was he who apologized to me.
You apologize?
By his having found, perhaps, that there is one more guilty than I.
How do you account for his conduct?
By his having found, perhaps, that there is one more guilty than I.
Or fact that he is coward?
Your son is no coward, it is his father who is coward.
You call me coward, I have always hated you. In short, since the young men of today will not fight, it only remains for the older ones to do so. Do not agree, sir?
Certainly, sir. It was to fight that I come here.
Prepared?
Yes, sir.
You know that we shall fight until one of us is dead.
Until one of us is dead.
Let us start then without further.
True, we may do so. We both of us know the real cause of the enmity between us.
On the contrary, I know little of it. You are practically a stranger to me, and I.
You, a stranger to me? Not so. I have known you for many years, for more than 20 years.
More than 20 years? How can that be?
I know you well. Are you not the Captain Fernand who betrayed the fortress of Yanina to the Turks?
What of?
Worse than that, for worse, are you not the Fernand who betrayed an innocent man to a living death in a dungeon?
An innocent man? What do you mean?
I mean that 20 years ago, you, a young fisherman, gave false evidence which condemned one of your friends to imprisonment for life.
You? How can you know this?
Who should know it better than I? Who should know it better than I? That you are the villain Fernand, that your wife was the girl to whom your victim was betrothed and dead.
That you are Edmond Dantes.
Edmond Dantes, your victim.
Edmond Dantes. Edmond Dantes. You.
No, father. No, father. No, father. No.
No, sir.
What are you doing, father?
No.
Father. Mother. Count. Father. The Count of Monte Cristo is event.